Hey guys, hit the subscribe button on the way and then please like this video. Today we're going to look at triads in the key of G major. We're going to use the arpeggios and I'm going to show you how to play the triad arpeggios for the major and minor chords in the key of G, horizontally across the neck and diagonally. And these are going to be incredibly useful for soloing, for memorizing the notes on the fretboard, and for just coming up with cool ideas that you want to play when you're improvising. So anyway, let's dig into this. You're going to have a lot of fun. Follow along. So we're going to start with just explaining the key of G major real quick. There's going to be 6 chords that we're actually going to use. We're going to leave out the diminished for this lesson just because you're going to primarily be faced with major and minor chords when you're soloing. So we're going to look at these chords in the key of G major. We're going to look at G major as the 1 chord, okay? So we're going to have G major as the 1 chord. We're going to have A minor as the 2 chord, B minor as the 3 chord, C major as the 4 chord, D major as the 5 chord, and E minor as the 6 chord. So those are your 6 major and minor chords in the key. You got 3 majors and 3 minors, all right? So you got G, C, and D as your majors. That's the 1, 4, 5. And then you have A minor, B minor, and E minor as the 2, 3, and 6 chords in the key. Now, if you don't follow or understand why that is, doesn't matter right now. We're really just going to learn these arpeggio shapes, and you're going to see it's pretty simple because we're only going to use 2 different shapes. We're going to use the major arpeggio, and it's going to look like this. So just a little side note, a triad is just a 3-note chord. So every chord that you play, major and minor chords, they're triads. So this is going to apply to any chord that you play. So the first one we're going to look at is G major, okay? And G major, the major triad arpeggio is going to look like this. It's going to go G, B, D. But you're going to have this little shape where it's 3rd fret on the low E string, 2nd fret on the A string, 5th fret on the A string. So that's going to be your G note, your B note, and your D note. This little shape that we make here, you're going to have the root note there on the 1st string, then the 3rd, so that's root, 3rd, and then your 5th is like if you were to play a power chord, your 5th is right there. So root, 5th, root, 3rd, root, 5th. When you put them together, root, 3rd, 5th, we get a major arpeggio. And this applies anywhere, so it doesn't matter what your chord is. So I'll just tell you real quick, right? Our chords in the key of G major are G, C, and D. So I could find a G note, play that shape, G, B, D. Those are the 3 notes for the G major arpeggio. If I go to the next chord, which is C major, I would find a C note on my fretboard and then play that same shape, root, 3rd, 5th. I end up with the notes C, E, G. And then I could go to the other major chord, which is the D major, and I would play that 10th fret of the low E string. That's my D. So root, 3rd, 5th. And I'd have the notes D, F sharp, A. But we'll get back to the actual notes in a little bit. But that's the main shape. So your main shape is going to be middle finger, low E string, index finger, 2nd fret of the A string, and then pinky, 5th fret of the A string. And that's root, 3rd, 5th. So you're playing root with your middle, 3rd with your index, 5th with your pinky. Okay, and that's going to apply for every major shape that we play. It's going to look like that. Now, when we go to the minor shape, all we're going to do is the same exact fingering, but we're going to switch where we play the 3rd. And to give you the example in the key of G major, we go to the 2 chord, which is A minor, right? If we played an A minor chord, this arpeggio would fit right on top of it. It's going to look like this. This one has a bigger stretch. So we have our root, middle finger on the 5th fret of the low E string. For a minor chord, you're playing a flat 3rd. So that means our index finger needs to go back a fret to flatten the 3rd, right? So we have a root, flat 3 is going to be the 3rd fret of the A string. So we have the root on the 5th fret of the low E string, flat 3rd on the 3rd fret of the A string, and then the 5th is the 7th fret of the A string. So if we played an A power chord, that would be our root 5th. So we got root, flat 3, 5. So we get this kind of wide shape where it goes index, stretch back to the 3rd fret, stretch up to the 7th fret. It looks like kind of a crazy stretch. You know, when I start teaching students this, they're like, my fingers don't stretch that much. If you're having trouble making the stretch, really what you need to do is sort of, you make this kind of like circular motion with your hand where like, it's not like I need to keep my hand in place and do this big stretch. I can kind of like, I can move my hand a little bit. See, I can kind of dance to get those notes. I can do the same thing on the major. Right? And it's one of those things, the more you practice it, the easier it becomes and the more comfortable you get making those stretches. But I have to say, this is a normal stretch for guitar players. Like doing the stretch from 3 to 7 like that, it's a pretty common thing to happen, especially as you get more advanced. You're going to be able to, or you're going to encounter situations where you need to make a big stretch like that. So you got to learn it at some point in time. If you're a beginner, like absolute beginner, you probably should not work on this. But if you're like kind of more intermediate level, this is something that you want to start tackling. So anyway, just to kind of recap, we got the major shape, root, 3rd, 5th. The minor shape starting on A is root, flat, 3rd, 5th. And those are the only 2 shapes that we're going to use. So now we're just going to apply them to whatever note the chord belongs to in the key, right? So our 1 chord was G major. We had this. That's G major. Then we go to A minor, the 2 chord. Then we would go to the 3 chord, B minor. Same minor shape. So that's the stretch shape. In this case, it's 7th fret of the E string, 5th fret of the A string, 9th fret of the A string. Then we go to C major, 8th fret, 8, 7, 10. D major, 10, 9, 12. And then E minor, the last one. 12, 12th fret of the low E string, 10th fret of the A string, 14th fret of the A string. If I play that in sequence, it looks like this. And that would be the 6 chords. So G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor. And we're skipping the diminished, just because you're going to encounter more major and minor, so I don't want to get too focused or like throw you too many curveballs. We're just doing those 2, the major and minor shape. Now, what I suggest you do is you learn the sequence just as I wrote it. So I'm going to give you guys like a little PDF download that you'll be able to see them across the strings, and then also I'm going to have diagonal ones too. You guys can print that out from my website. I just ask you, please subscribe to this channel, like the video, it helps me grow, okay? This is an incredibly useful lesson though. So we're going to learn this going horizontally like that. And what you want to tell yourself as you're practicing this is the chords. Okay, so you're going to say G major, and you're really looking at the root note that you're playing. So as long as you know your root note, the shape that you play is just going to follow, you know, as long as you memorize this fingering. So you're going to have G major, and you play it twice, then go to A minor, then B minor, then C major, D major, and E minor. And what you can do is, before you do it, just kind of practice the notes for a second. Okay, there's my G, A, B, C, D, E. If you want to go all the way through a scale, F sharp, G, right? There's an F sharp in the key G major. But basically that's what you got. G, A, B, C, D, E. Now here's the cool thing about this. If you memorize these notes and these arpeggios, you're knocking out like 6 of essentially the 12 that you have to learn. And then any of these that you learn, so say you learn this G major shape, if a key you're playing on has the G major, then you would just play it exactly as you learned it. But if the key that you're playing in has a G minor, you just do the flat and the 3rd thing. So you got root, flat 3, 5th. There would be my G minor. So major, G minor. Okay? But anyway, don't worry about that now. We're just going to stay in G major for the time being. So you're going to learn that sequence horizontally there. Now here's the cool thing. as long as you stay on the E and A strings, you're going to be able to do that sequence straight up in the key. If you move to the next set of strings, which would be the D and the G strings, this same exact sequence would happen as long as we find the G note on the D string, okay? And that would look like this. Okay, so again, this would be your G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, and E minor. Okay, so that's the second set that you're going to learn. And then the third one is going to be on the B and E strings, same exact sequence, but now we need to find the G note on the B string, which is the 8th fret, okay? So that's my G. I'm going to have the same shape, G, B, D. So that's my major, then A minor, B minor, C major, D major, and E minor. So all the way through that. And if you're wondering what I'm doing for picking, I'm just going, let's see. I'm actually doing down, down, up, 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 down, down, up. So I'm doing a down, down, up. That's what I'm doing. So it's technically it's like a mini sweep. And that actually helps you to go kind of quick. So like if I had distortion or something, I could do like a... that kind of thing. So this could actually become really cool if you start to speed it up or something, but don't worry about the speed at first. At first you want to understand what you're doing. You're playing root 3rd 5th or root flat 3rd 5th. Now as a secondary thing I suggest you do, and this may sound difficult, but honestly this is what you have to do, is memorize all the chords in the key. So not just G, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, but actually memorize the notes of each chord. This will take some time, but you focus on one key. Knock out the key of G major, or you could do C major, whatever you want to do. I like G major because it allows us to start in the beginning of the neck and sort of go in a straight line. We could do that with C major too, but we'd be starting already halfway down the neck on the low E string. So it's really just preference what you want to do. I just like to do G major because if we leave out the F sharp note, you're practicing pretty much most of the natural notes. But I like to do the G major just because you get that straight line sequence. So anyway, you might have to sit down and write out all these notes, but you'd have G, B, D. So when I have students practicing this, I'm having them say the notes as they play them. G, B, D, G, B, D, A, C, E, A, C, E, B, D, F sharp, B, D, F sharp, C, E, G, C, E, G, D, F sharp, A, D, F sharp, A, E, G, B, E, G, B. Now, you could write this down and just reference them because that's going to be an easy way for you to kind of like start getting it into your head, and then you want to just start saying them off of memory. It's part of memorizing the scale and memorizing the key and the chords. It's all things that you really need to do and you need to know. So anyway, check this out. I'm going to play through all of them now, and you're going to see it's the same exact sequence horizontally that's being played. Just I'm playing the octaves of them, right? So it's going to look like this. First set, second set. And now the third set. Okay, Okay, so that's super cool. Now there's going to be one more little exercise, and that's going to be playing the same arpeggio, but in 3 octaves, one after another. It's going to sound like this if I do it. Like that. So what I'm doing here now is I'm just playing the G major arpeggio, and then I'm going to the octave of it on the next set of 2 strings. So I'm going from the E and A strings to the D and G strings, then to the G and B strings. And that is the G major. Then the A minor, octave 1, octave 2, octave 3. B minor, octave 1, octave 2, octave 3. C major, octave 1, octave 2, octave 3. D major, octave 1, octave 2, octave 3. And E minor, octave 1, octave 2, octave 3. So now you'll have 2 ways of playing this. You can go horizontally through the key, or you can go diagonally in octaves, just 1 chord at a time. You can also play these forwards and backwards. I didn't go forwards and backwards just because I don't want to give you guys too much to do, but if you can handle it, you can try to practice going. Okay, and that's another way you could practice these to just start getting going with them. All right, guys, so I'm gonna show you guys this in action. I'm gonna play the arpeggios just kind of like straight through over the chords. So the chords are gonna go G, B minor, E minor, D major. And I'm just gonna play the arpeggios right on top of them first, just so you can hear how the arpeggios sound on top of like a track going. So here we go. Alright guys, here we go. I'm going to run this track again, and I'm going to just do some free improvisation and try to throw some of these shapes in. See if you can find where I'm playing them. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Please remember there's a free PDF download in the description below. Also, please check out my guitar flashcards on Amazon. If you buy them directly from my website, I ship them to you guys as fast as I can. If you buy them from Amazon, they'll come to you within 2 days because you get the prime shipping on them. Also, check out my music theory course at tunedinguitarcourses.com. It covers all kinds of music theory concepts like the chords in the key, building triads, building seventh chords, finding the notes on the fretboard, all your basic and fundamental music theory stuff. It's really worth it. There's a big discount on that course right now. Check it out. I hope to see you guys there. Thank you so much. God bless.